Hey guys, it's Will from Magic, the Friendly Tavern on Facebook. And today we're going to be looking at another Delver list because, like I said, I'm making a Delver of all color combinations that are available in Magic. I still have some made that we haven't talked about, and here's one of them. This is actually the first Delver deck I made. This is Blue-Red Delver, or Izzet Delver. First of all, as always, we have 4 copies of Delver of Secrets. It's a 1-mana 1/1 that can flip into a flying 3/2 by revealing an instant or sorcery at the beginning of your upkeep, after you look at the top card of your library. The thing with Delver is a tempo card. With its evasion and its high attack stat, and the fact that you can flip it turn 2, you can create a clock that's really fast on your opponent. It takes 6 turns for 1 Delver to kill your opponent. If you could just add 2 damage to the 3 damage that Delver does, you can shorten that clock from 6 turns to 4 turns. So all you're looking for is a window of opportunity to come in at your opponent really fast and really hard. Along with Delver of Secrets, we have ways to dig through our library to find what we need because we're running instants and sorceries to the max. We're running 26 spells or more. And the reason is because we need that many to have a 75% chance to flip Delver on turn 2. So we run things like Consider. Instant. Look at the top card of your library and may put it in the graveyard, draw a card. That's fine. Otherworldly Gaze. I can look at the top 3 cards, put any number of them into the graveyard and the rest on the back of the top, any order. And it has flashback. Next is some removal. We have Frostbite. It deals 2 damage to target creature or planeswalker. If I control 3 or more snow permanents, it deals 3 damage. We are running 8 snow islands and 8 snow mountains to facilitate this. It's not always online for 3, but most of the time it is, and that's where we want it to be. We're trying to maximize the damage that our burn spells do. Because some creatures are really hard to kill with burn. They're too large. Another one that we have in here is Play with Fire. Play with Fire can hit any target. So that's planeswalker, creature, or player, and we want that reach to be able to hit the player in the face. Just in case we're just a turn short or whatever from hitting them with Delver, we kind of need reach. Also, if we hit them in the face, we get the Scry 1 that helps us dig. Remember, it's not card advantage we're looking for, it's card selection. Next up, we have a Sorcery Speed X Burn spell. Now, if we're hitting a creature or planeswalker, we can nullify that red casting cost because this deals 1 extra damage. So if we put 3 into colorless and 1 into red, they'll still do 4 damage to a creature or planeswalker. But this also hits to the face. It will not do the +1 damage, but it will hit to the face, and we can flash it back by removing loyalty counters from a planeswalker, which we have 1 of. So it won't always match up, but sometimes it will. And next on the list is Spectral Adversary. Spectral Adversary is a flash flying 2/1 for 2 that we can pay an extra 1 in a blue as many times as we want to put a +1/+1 counter on it. And for each +1/+1 counter on it, it phases out an artifact, creature, or an enchantment. We can use this defensively or offensively. Phase out things that we want to protect, or we can phase out things we want to get rid of so we can punch through. Next, the MVP of the deck, Suspicious Stowaway. There's only 2 in here because his front half makes you draw and discard. If you have too many draw and discard effects out there, you're just going to be ripping through your library and not keeping anything in your hand. And that's going to make it to where you're going to have a bad day. So we're just running 2 of these, even though more might be acceptable. First of all, it's a 2-mana 1/1 on the front half, and it can't be blocked. So it's 1 free damage every turn. It can't be blocked. And you will always, and when it deals combat damage to a player, you will draw a card and discard. So it's almost guaranteed card draw, an extra card every turn. On its second half, it's even better because it becomes a 2/1, and we draw a card with no discard, and it still cannot be blocked. So this thing is great. After that, we have Carthetic Fire. You choose one. It deals 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker, another burn spell, instant, 2 mana. Discard up to 2 cards and draw that many cards, so it lets us dig. So that's good. Dragon's Fire. As an additional cost, we can reveal a dragon, or we can point out a dragon on the field. If we do this, instead of doing 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker, it deals the damage equal to the power of the dragon. We actually have 4 dragons, so this does come up often. Not very often, but often enough that it matters. Next up is another dig spell. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put one of them in your hand, one of them in the bottom of your library, and exile one of them. You may play the exile card this turn. So that's great. That's basically lets us see 2 cards for free, or lets us see 3 cards for free, and we get to keep 2 of them. Next up is our Planeswalker Jace Mirror Mage. For 3 mana, we get a 4 loyalty Planeswalker. We can +1 to scry 2, or we can pay 0 to draw a card, but he loses loyalty equal to the card's mana cost. Now, we're pretty low on mana cost, but still, plusing him a few times won't hurt. But he also has Kicker 2, and if we kick him, we get 2 copies of this, and they're not legendary, so they both get to stay on the field. So we can tick one up, and the other one we can just draw cards with. It depends, we get with 2 of them, maybe we'll be able to light up the night twice, or do a lot of damage with light up the night. It's flexible, it's good, it digs, it's fine. Next up is another beater we have is Flame Skull. This thing is great. I love this card. This is the first card I thought of when I thought of Delver, and that's why Blue-Red Delver was built first. Flame Skull is a 3/1 flying, can't block. When it dies, exile it. If you do exile the top card of your library, until the end of your next turn, you may play one of those cards. So you can either play the Flame Skull again, or you can play the card that you revealed off the top of your library. That's a lot of flexibility. This thing goes to town. I really like this spell. Next up is our Desert Doom. He is a 5 mana 5/5 flyer, and he has Ward 4 as long as he's untapped. So the turn he comes out, it takes 6 mana, 5 to 6 mana just to kill him. That's good. That's really good. That could take our opponent off an entire turn of tempo. So that really swings it in our favor if they're trying to kill this thing. If they can't kill this thing and it gets in, we get to draw a card. If we have fewer than 3 cards in our hand, we get to draw cards equal to the difference. So we could draw up to 3 cards if we're empty-handed. Really nice dragon. Next one is another really nice dragon. That's a 5 mana, 4/4 Goldspan dragon. It's flying in haste, and when it attacks or becomes the target of a spell, we create a treasure token. Also, treasure tokens we control add 2 mana of one color instead of just 1 mana. So it's a ramp. It's ramp and it's hasty. The haste is what really makes it shine. Really good card here. Next, we have our lands. Of course, like we said, 8 islands, 8 mountains. We have the pathway, the red-blue pathway. We have MDFCs, of course. This one deals 1 damage to any target. In the exiles if it would die this turn, and it has land attached to the back of it. Then we have Valakut Awakening. Put any number of cards from your hand on the bottom of your library and draw that many cards +1. Great way to refill our hand. And 2 Seagate Restoration, which also draws cards equal to the number of cards in our hand. And we have no maximum hand size for the rest of the game, but these can enter untapped if we pay 3 life. So that's it. That's Delver in a nutshell. Blue-Red Delver. It's one of my favorite decks to run. It does have a bad matchup against mono-white life gain, which is very, very heavy in this format. But that's about it. That's all. I can just say it's a really good deck against everything else, pretty much. That's it. You guys have a great day. Happy pack pulls, and as always, happy games.